The French saddle breed is relatively new, and although it was officially accepted in France in 1958, it did not reach the rest of Europe until 1970. It was created for sporting purposes in the French countryside, more precisely in Saint-Lô and Normandy, where it began to be bred. The French saddle horse has great physical qualities, but perhaps its greatest virtue is to be a fast animal and suitable for sports mainly used for jumping. Today we will know a little of this breed, and how it is handled under the deep bedding system in a breeding farm located in the municipality of La Ceja, belonging to the Department of Antioquia, Colombia. Era San Isidro is a breeding farm of French saddlebred horses, and what we want to show you is a breeding farm that produces 25 foals per year, which are dedicated solely and exclusively to the international and national equestrian equitation. "35 years ago we started breeding horses, but 14 years ago we started with the French saddlebred horses that we imported Mares from France, the best genetics, and we started 13 years ago with this breeding farm, and today we produce about 25 foals per year. Working with this breed is something difficult because we started with a very difficult task, because in the world jumping horses are produced mainly in Europe, in France, Germany, Holland, and Belgium, and in South America they are produced in Argentina and Chile. Colombia is not a producer of jumping horses, so we had the task of finding how to achieve this market, and we are based on three very important parallels in genetics, in breeding, and in the elevation and high sport horses. It is important because first of all we need big horses. Horses that measure at least 67, that have ideal international heights of 67 to 73 to 71. 2. That have very good genetics. We are only on track to have good genetics. We went to France to a very famous breeding farm in France, Semilly, and we brought 3 sensational Mares in breeding, because we need breeding so that we have horses with very good leads, very good body condition, excellent Mares, so that they breed very well and we do not lose semen. We look for World Cup Mares, for Mares that have demonstrated the highest quality in sport, the highest quality. So when we have Mares that have participated in South American, Pan American, Central American, or World Cups, and those genetics are here, what we are looking for, I already have the genetics guaranteed. Now we are going to do breeding, and within the breeding that we want to talk about now, because we are about to enter, is how to breed. How we achieve high quality in breeding with firm bones, well formed, that there are no calcium deficiencies, that we take into account all the nutrition to be able to produce a foal with all the conditions, and the sportsman who buys that foal from us has the satisfaction of saying that I have an animal of the highest genetic quality and conformation. The breeding that we do is as follows. The Mares at 3 months before breeding are put in the stall to start feeding extremely well, taking into account the part of concentrate, and the most important part of microelements or important elements for the development, not only of the mare, but also of the fetus, when the mare breeds. That foal is being breastfed by the mother for 4 months with all the nutrients necessary for it to develop. Because a small foal can grow up to 30 centimeters in only 3 months, so we need a perfect diet. She is there. The foals and their maras sleep all night in the stall, because we need good comfort and good quality of life for that foal in the stall, and then it goes out to the paddock all day long. At 4 months the mare goes to another place, which is the construction site, and the foal or the offspring goes to a place that is the community stalls. As the name says, a community stall is a large open place where there can be up to 30 foals together in a single space, giving each foal 15 square meters so that he can live and have enough area to move around, to be with his friends, and to be able to feed and live freely in community, which is the raison d'être of a horse. The deep bedding is a development that we are implementing. They are techniques that come from Europe, that come from Argentina, that come from Brazil, and the strategy is a communal bed where there can be many foals at the same time, but with a deep bed, a depth between 40 and 50 centimeters of rice husk. It can also be sawdust, but we choose rice husk for its cleanliness and aeration. Then the horse is sleeping all night in a deep bed, totally comfortable, with gigantic advantages that I will enumerate. I do not know any disadvantage. First, that the horses will be sleeping on a mattress of 40 centimeters. Secondly, this bed, as it is moved every day, is an aerobic process. No shit or urine is removed. But when I am moving this bed, I am aerating it. There will never be compaction, and there will never be ammonia or bad odors. Why? Because when I move it, the ammonia is volatilized and all the nutrients remain. A compost is formed during a year. This deep bed does not move. It does not move the. It is an aerobic process where it does not smell of anything, and there we will have a future source of organic matter that will be used in the pastures to replace the chemical fertilizer that today is so expensive, and it is better to start managing the composted organic fertilizer in our pastures. Advantage: zero fertilizers, much less fertilizers. Secondly, zero labor, because we do not have to remove any shit anywhere or any urine anywhere, because we are turning it over and it dries by itself. Thirdly, there is comfort. When there is comfort, the animal does not spend energy generating heat because of the cold it may have at night. It only spends the energy it produces in growth and welfare. Another advantage is that horses are mentally close. They are friends, they are calm, because they are in community, they are friends with everyone. They do not feel scared, they do not generate ups and downs of stress, they are calm and in community, they do not feel scared, they do not feel stress. They are calm and in community, for are so calm that if I take them out to a paddock they run away. They walk away because they have exercised all day, all night between camaraderie and camaraderie. so we have no risk of fractures when they go out to the paddocks, and we have growth and fattening of animals up to 45 kilos in a month. The average can be 25 kilos per month. So this is one of the advantages. Health. 0 injuries. 0 stress. 0 distemper. 0 of everything. Then veterinarians are reduced, fertilization is reduced. There is more guarantee of quality of horses. There is 0 stress. Everywhere is an advantage, so I want to tell you that this is useful for horses, for cows, for pigs, for chickens, for everything. It is very interesting that you do this experiment because there cannot be a better result. If I leave these deep beds and I don't move them, immediately an anaerobic process starts. Because it is anaerobic, we have ammonia odors, we have putrefaction, we have bacteria, we have fungi, we can have skin problems, and the horses are going to be in a humid environment. Ruts, poor quality hooves, etc. This cannot be allowed. When we have a deep bedding process, our way of thinking every day, and our collaborators who are happy with what we are doing because the loss of labor is gigantic, the focus is to look for where the humid zones of the whole community area are. Move it to a drier place, and where it is drier in the community area, and move it to the most humid place, and one begins to know where the humid zones are and where the horses are. They urinate more where there is more humidity, and you are more aware of that in that place so that the animal does not suffer at some point. Why turn it with a tractor? If we were to do it by hand, there would be a person once a day moving it 24/7 doing it. In a tractor takes 15 minutes, and it is a labor that does not take any time. I traveled to France. In France there are many breeding farms. France is a great breeder of jumping horses. In France they make these community stables, and they make them a little bit different. We have to locate ourselves in Medellin, Colombia, because we are in a place where 2,000 millimeters fall per year. This past year 3,750 millimeters fell per year. Then we lived in France where they made some filters, stone filters later on, with sand, and the horse lived there well. But the horse lived there well, but when we did the same in Colombia with so much rainfall, immediately that sand got together with the shit and the urine, and it became a wall. Then it became a wall in which the horse was not comfortable. It should be like on a pavement. So for that reason, when we saw the compost vart or the deep beds, we immediately saw that it was the solution. We had half of the community stalls covered under a roof, and the other half of the stalls were outdoors, in the open air. Today we cover them with plastic to increase the area of comfort, and because the area where it was uncovered was so humid that it became a wall, so by covering it we increased and improved the whole process to show it to you. How are the animals fed? The animals enter the paddock at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. They are immediately caught with a carabiner and the concentrate is poured in a canoe. The personal dose with its concentrate, minerals, calcium, and we already know what type of concentrate is given to each animal depending on its development. We know what type of concentrates we give to each animal, depending on its development, its size, if they are big or small, and we make sure that they eat all the rice and all the ration. As soon as they eat it, we release them from the carabiners and we apply the hay all night long. Our animals eat 3 times a day. At 8 o'clock in the morning, at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and at 7 o'clock at night. At 7 o'clock at night they fill up with hay because we need to put so much hay that the next day in the morning they still have hay. The horse has to be eating hay 24 hours a day. So that is how we feed, and we put the hay and no more. We do not put anything else until the next day. The water we have. The water comes down from the canoes of the community stalls where the end of the roof is. There are some canoes where the water comes down. All the water arrives to a place in round with a capacity of 2,000 liters. There are 2 tanks each with 1,000 liters where the water goes down and fills the tank. If at any time it is summer or something we have water available to fill the tanks. These waters are changed daily. And all the water is changed daily. The walls of the water are washed and a little bit of bicarbonate is added to improve the pH of the water, and because when the animals are given bicarbonate, the bicarbonate avoids sourness and we have better digestion and better digestibility of all the nutrients when we give them to the animals. Very well, at 8 o'clock in the morning after eating the concentrate, we take them out. We release them from the carabiners and open the gates. And the horses, as they are living in community, they are not rebellious horses, nor surly, nor with bad habits. We take a horse in front, that is the engine or the guide of the herd, and all the horses follow him. The paddocks are opened. The gate of the paddock is opened and the horses calmly enter the paddock to play with each other, and to exercise, to eat if they want to eat, etc. And they join with the mares that are with the offspring until they are 0 to 4 months old so that they become friends. Here they are here from 8 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon in the community stalls. I want to tell you one thing, and it is the following. All the males and small females are there. As soon as a male begins to have some kind of heat, that male is removed from those stalls and they go to another area of the farm where there are only males, and we have 2 sheds. One for young horses and the other one for adults when there is a mare. A foal that is dominant and is beginning to bother others. That are arriving. That foal goes to the other corral where they are bigger so that they can teach her that if you are the boss here, you should not send to be the last one in the herd. And when there is a very dominant one in the second bigger group, she goes to another group to begin to be trained and to ride him. We develop the offspring until they are 3 years old, and at the age of 3 they enter the stall to be cared for and trained in order to begin the process of training and to know the conditions of each foal, what characteristics it can have, if it is for an amateur, if it is for a professional, if it is going to jump a lot, if it is going to jump a little and start to know what type of market we want to deliver. One type of foal or another. What satisfies us the most is that we have been breeding French saddle horses for 13 years, and that today there are a number of foals or products that have come out, i.e. every year more foals come on the market, and those foals are doing an excellent job, and we are so happy with the job we have today. How is it not going? It is not going so well that today we are oversold. The results, the dreams, my father's dream, my father's dream. There are 3 generations here. My father, us and the children, we all talk about horses. It is the environment. It is the reason to be together every day talking and generating passion. My father is 89 years old and he is passionate about this. I am going to tell you the following. I really want to invite everyone who wants to come and see. The doors are open for you to see the process. Not to do so is to be behind in the technology of horse breeding. I want to invite you to see this process. To fall in love with this process. Go to the internet and look at the deep beds. Look at what is happening all over the world. This is incredible. We are sure that we are going to improve reproduction. Today we are spending a lot of pills for each mare. I am sure that in this process we are going to reduce it by half. I invite you to come and learn about this process. Not doing it is stubbornness, not doing it is to have the same failures, problems of overbones, problems of epiphyses, problems of chips, problems of everything. Not doing it does not make sense.